Here's another big deal. We've got another Saturday night's main event. This one happens on October 31st in Topeka, Kansas. And here the Genius beats Hulk Hogan by countout. Of course, the Genius was Lanny Poffo, brother of Randy Savage, really used as an enhancement talent mostly here, or most famously, at least in my life, Mr. Perfect's manager. Chat me up about the Genius character.
Well, you talk about October 31st in Topeka, Kansas, and Vince had a bet that he said that even, the Genius would sell out, and the Genius did sell out against Hulk Hogan on this night in Topeka, Kansas. But the Genius gimmick was something, Lanny was the poet laureate of the WWF, and he always wrote this great poetry. And sometimes I saw Lanny last week in an appearance, and he thanked me because when he did a Brother Love show, I had given him a call with almost 5 days notice to let him know he was doing the Brother Love show, and he could actually put thought into the poem he was going to write. Most of the time he would be given a couple, maybe an hour's notice, and hey, Lanny, come up with something. But the Genius was a Vince McMahon creation, that he looked at Lanny, and the way that Lanny delivered his poems was kind of holier than thou and smarter than everybody else, and thought if he was a genius, he'd be a great addition to Mr. Perfect. And it was a good role and a good run for Lanny Poffo. I thought he pulled it off to perfection.
No doubt. I mean, it's a memorable gimmick. I mean, it certainly made an impression on me. What was the relationship like with the boys and Lanny? I mean, it does feel like a lot of people sort of just say, oh, he's only here because he's Randy's brother. What was the rap on Lanny and Randy? And just chat me up on that.
Randy was definitely the star. I mean, Randy was the attraction, and Lanny was the little brother. But I think that for the majority of their career, that was the role that those guys were always in. And I don't know that there was ever any jealousy on Lanny's part, and Randy always kind of took it upon himself to help Lanny in any way that he could and look out for family. One thing about Randy Savage, man, it was all about his family. He didn't fuck with his mom, his dad, and his brother. So I think that guys respected Lanny because Lanny was a hell of a worker. He was a great hand in the ring. Randy was the attraction and Lanny was Lanny. But Lanny in the Genius role, this was an opportunity for him to step out of the Lanny Poffo role, be a heel, and really have something, some meat on the bone there.
How big of a moment was this for Lanny to get a win over Hulk Hogan, even if it was a count out? I mean, it's NBC. It's a big deal, is it not?
Oh God, it was absolutely huge. And it meant so much for that gimmick, the Genius gimmick, and also Mr. Perfect, and gave Lanny that credibility that he needed to be with Perfect, and give him the credibility now to step into that role.